So, what's going on, my people? I really want to make this quick tutorial because I really want to take a shower. But, I'm going to try to explain this to you. Okay, I downloaded it already. Alright, here we go. Here we go. For those of you who don't know, this is actually going to be the second program for assignment 4. Those of you who are watching this. Don't worry, this looks fancy. I don't think you have to actually do this for the project. Okay? But this is the way I did it, just to make it look very nice and neat and professional. So here we go. We're going to start. Assignment 4, Program 2. Our goal is to have a program that takes in a file and calculates the annual money earned from interest. Now, I did a lot more than that, but that's all that's required. This program, that's just me talking to John Lang about, why it took so long for this program. For me, like, doing it more, if I do it more than like a day, if it takes me more than a day from the assignment to get it done, it's usually a long time. Import Java IO file. As we said in our last video, we're going to need this file because, well, it's okay. So we're importing a file so we can use it, so we can actually use it as our input. That's why you need to import a file so we can actually compute files. That's why you need to import the file, and that's the syntax on how you import it. Util scanner, we've explained this in another video. And our decimal format, I'm positive we've explained this in another video. Class, annual interest 12. I put 12 because for this one it actually took me 3 tries, because first I didn't know what he wanted, the second time I did it but it was the wrong calculations, and the third time is perfection. This is perfection. Okay, so public static void main. We've explained why it's public. We have not explained, well, we've explained void, but obviously we're just setting our main here. And we're having a string. We're taking in a string of arguments. If you fun fact, if you actually do this exact program in the your command, and you just, or any program, if you're working on your own program, I know some people are working on them. If you're working on your own, if you just take this piece out, the command prompt will literally tell you, hey, you're missing string of arguments. So that's why I need to have it there. We're going to throw Java IO file not found exception, so if it knows what to do when the file is not found, or else the computer will literally just flip shit, Next, we're declaring our integer as money1, or we were declaring money1 as an integer, because the file he gave us, it's in an integer amount, so I'm just going to do an integer. I could do double. I probably should have done double if this is going to be a real program, but I don't have to. Next, we're going to do money2. Oh, and by the way, to show you what I mean, just to show you what I mean, this is what he gives us, okay? This is what he's giving us, 1,300, it's an integer, okay? And this is where it's going to matter, why if it's in order, is when it's down here, But as of right now, I'm just declaring right here, just declaring for what I'm going to use later, which is always a good thing to do in programming in general. Try to declare your variables up at the top so you know what you're going to use. Next, we're going to have a double. Double means, which hopefully you all know this, double means it simply can be a decimal number, okay? It's also a larger number, as in bytes. It's going to store it as a larger number, so like an integer is like, what, 4 bits, maybe double, like 8 bits, okay? But again, that is explaining computer size and referencing. Anyway, we're declaring it double. Double, just all you have to know is that double is a decimal number. We're declaring it as interest 1 and interest 2. Reason being, it's because the interest he gives us is a decimal number. Next, we have our string name 1, name 2. That's obvious because these are going to be in string format. These I declared because I'm going to output the money from the interest, the money and the money total. So I'm going to calculate the money earned from the percent interest he gave us annually, and the total amount after you add the annual interest to the amount he had, assuming he doesn't take out any money. Next, we are declaring our decimal format. DF is going to equal a new decimal format, because I'm declaring a new object. New decimal format, and whatever decimal format you want. I just had he said 2 decimals, so I put 2 at the end. We have it in here. We've discussed this, but this time we are going to, instead of taking system in like we're used to, instead of having that as input. By the way, if you didn't know, that's why we do scanner system in. It's because it's taking input from the system, from the command prompt. However, this is going to take input from a new file, and the file is called, and as you can see, we use this command, and here we declare what the file is called inside this new file, declaring a new file. Okay? I know I'm talking fast, but I'm trying to get this video quick because this is the second video I've done on this exact same program. And this new one is going to be called data4 just because that happened to be the name. And you put docs.txt, make sure when you download it, it's going to be in a .txt format, or else you're going to be very angry with yourself. I know probably some people are going to leave in the comments like, hey, it's not working for me because you have an exception of, I can't remember what the exception was, but I was getting it too. It's because it was in a rich text format, meaning it was RTF, not .txt, and I declared it as .txt, and he gives it to us as a .txt, so make sure it's in .txt. And if you guys didn't know how to change something from .txt, here, do I have an RTF format? Yes, I do. Okay, so if I wanted to save this, save as desktop, you can change it right here. You can either do, I don't see, be plain text. But if you want to do just do exactly as I do, .txt. There we go. Yep. Now, if I search it again, look at that. It's in the text document, .txt. As you can see. Rhyming. Okay. If you want to slow the part down, you can, but we're gonna keep on rolling. We're gonna keep on trucking. So we have our input from the file, in this file specifically. And we remember, guys, whenever you're ending these right here, when you put in new variables or new objects and stuff, you're gonna need to put a semicolon at the end. Even these, when you're starting to take in stuff, you're gonna need to put a semicolon. The only thing you don't put a semicolon in is if you're doing classes or you're doing functions, like this happens to be a function. So this right here, this is a class, this is a function. We call these functions because they are literally just meant to do a specific task. They're meant to do a function. Okay, next, make sure this is in order. If this is not in order, it's not going to come out right. We are doing our money1 is going to be equal to input.next integer. What does this mean? Simply, our money1, our integer, is going to be input.next integer. And you might be like, well, how does it do that? Because we're already taking in, we're having our system in from the file, so it's just reading the file. And this is how you do the next integer rather than next. You just do capital INT and the usual parentheses and end. We're going to then take in our interest, as you can see, because it goes integer, interest, and then it goes string. But we have to do something special before we get to the string. We have to declare a dummy string, or else it's not going to go to the next line. So we declare this dummy string in here, so we can prepare. Because if we didn't have this dummy string in here, what would happen was instead of this, it would come up with an error. Say, what would the error be? I know it would be a main function or main thread, and the main thread would probably be file mismatch, type mismatch, something like that. Next, now we can input our name. We can actually do our name now. Okay? So, that is our first person done. Now, we do the exact same thing for the second person, but I declare my variables different because you cannot have two of the same. Well, you can, but it would just overwrite it, and then it would be literally no use to us anyway if we're just overwriting it. So that's why I have two separate variables for each exact duplicates, except it's for different people. So you see, money2, interest2, dummy2, and name2. Next, I'm going to calculate the money earned from interest. John Wang should have, or Miss Dr. Wang should have gave you a function to use, equation, but I'm just going to use the function to use. However, I didn't make my own. This is probably similar to his, but I just did our money that we're given times the interest 1 divided by 100. Why do you need to divide by 100? Because right now it's in a percentage. That's what it means when it's like this. It's in a percentage. That's why we divide it by 100, and that gives us the actual. And you may be wondering, well, why didn't you put the .0? And in some cases, you would have to do have to enable editing. In some cases, yes, you would have to do. Okay, where was I? Right here, right here. In some cases, you would have to do that right there. Some cases, yes. One moment. Okay. I'm gonna increase the view here. Okay. So you guys can see it. Can they see this? Yes, they can. Next. Okay. There you go. I want to make sure you guys can see this. I realize you guys. So, this is the program right here. That's the beginning of it. We go down here. And then where we're at right now is right here. So, our money from interest, 1, is going to be our original amount multiplied by the percentage. And that's going to give us the amount. You guys should know this. You've taken algebra before. You guys get it. We're going to do the same thing for 2 to get the interest money earned from 2. Our money total, 1, is going to simply be our money plus the money from interest. That's our new amount, because this is how much we earned from the interest, and we've already given the amount he had, so we just add it, and that's how much you have at the end of the year. It's pretty simple. Our next is going to be we'll do the same thing except for 2. I mean, I tried to do this pretty simple. You don't have to do this. I did this to make it look nice and fancy. I put these stars, which, as you can see right here, it just outlines it, so it's not this mess. Next, we're going to print out so spaces. I put spaces, so you could read it. The name, I put comma S, that'll be whatever the name is, comma S. Money before annual interest rate, or before annual interest rate was, I should have just put annual interest. I did put annual interest over here. I just didn't here. And so, as we can see, we are doing our decimal format to do 2 decimals. What our money is. This is how you do decimal format, by the way. If you didn't know, this is how you do decimal format. Specifically this, or not those 2, not these 2, but this. Our DF dot, the format that we're using, so just dot format, and then in parentheses the variable that you're going to use. And I'm just putting out his money that was given. Next, I'm putting out the money earned from interest. See, money from interest in the exact same way I did the other one. After that, we have the name plus the new amount after the year. I should have put after the annual. I forget the accounting term, but whatever it is, plus the total. Okay, so all this is, I'm going to show you exactly, and we do the same thing for 2. The exact same thing for 2, except we replace the variables with 2. And make sure you close your input. If you do not close your input, it could cause corruption and bad file. Well, that's just very, very messy. You don't want to do that. Dr. Wayne would say, very messy, son. Not joking, that's probably what he would say. And this is what it does. Joe Smith's money before annual interest rate was this right here. Joe Smith's money earned from interest is this right here. Joe Smith's new total amount after the year is this right here, because we add this, and then we get our final amount. Same thing for here. Alright? I believe that covers it. I believe it does. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this short fixing tutorial. Fixed assignment for program 2. Hope you enjoyed it. One moment. Okay, there, I'm going to leave it there. Hope you enjoyed this. You don't have to exactly do it like this. Just do, as Dr. Wang would say, just do generally what the problem is asking for, but I would try to go a step ahead because I was confused whether he wanted the money with the interest rate, after the year, or he just wanted the interest rate. So I just went ahead and did everything. So yeah, hope you liked this tutorial. If you want more, like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have a question. I'll see you next time. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. Like and subscribe for more. I'll see you later.